Hey guys, Rich Lopez with the Drop Time Traditions podcast. My guest this evening is Mr. Jess Stuart of Serra Blanca Custom Bows. How you doing, Jess?
Doing great. How are you, sir?
Thank you for joining us. Before we begin, I want to thank our and acknowledge our supporters, which is Stickbow Country Custom Arrows, Traps Feather Rests, Daryl Damron, Traditional Bowhunter Magazine, Sauk Trail Archery, StickbowSupplies.com, Whiskey City Trad Gear, Jessie Savage Blacksmith.com, TraditionalJunk.com, Kevin Bishop, St. Joe River Bow Company, TheEthicalPredator.com, and lastly, StickbowHuntsMX.com. Folks, I am also a member of the PBS, which is the Professional Bowhunter Society, and Compton's traditional bow hunters. So check them out. I encourage you to join and support. And there we go. So, Jess, what's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. I too am a member of the PBS. Great organization.
Thank you.
Never
Thank
made
you.
any events yet.
Yeah, I've been a member since 1978, on and off. Um,
Yeah.
so, give us a brief bio, background, where you're born, raised, etc.
Well, I was born and raised in New Mexico, been here my whole life. Born about 70 miles east of where I'm living currently, just at a small little town called Santa Rosa. Lived in Roswell, New Mexico for, oh, I don't know, 30 plus years, and then wound up here in Moriarty through work and been here ever since. Um, first and foremost, I'm a Christian and I follow Jesus. He has blessed me in many, many ways. I have a wonderful wife. We've been married 51 years next month.
Wow.
Or well, yeah, next month. Got two sons, two fat, wonderful sons. One's a policeman, one's a CPA. They're married to absolutely wonderful women. And I have four grandkids, two grandsons and two granddaughters. Oldest grandson's 21. Oldest granddaughter is 18. Youngest granddaughter's 11, and the youngest grandson's 8. And the young one, he's absolutely ate up with trying to hunt.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was just going to ask
Yeah.
you. I mean, do any of the grandkids or the kids hunt?
No, well, yeah, my older son, he's into hunting real big, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
Uh, my younger son, he has hunted, but he's not that much of a hunter. He likes to fish more than hunt, I think.
Okay. There are some people like that. Um,
Yep.
so how did you get started in archery? Did it start from your father or somebody in your family?
No, no one in my family or my dad were hunters. Well, I had an older brother who took me or got me involved in hunting, but he never hunted with a bow or had any interest in archery. But I used to watch, Fred Bear on the American Sportsman, and I believe he used to write articles in like Saturday Evening Post and
Hmm.
some of those magazines. And I used to read those. And then, of course, Bow and Arrow magazine. I couldn't wait for it to come out every other month to get it, and that's kind of how I got started. And my first bow was a 60-inch Shakespeare, 45 pounds. I don't remember the model number. It came with, I believe, six arrows, three broadheads, three field points, a tab, a glove, arm guard, and a paper bullseye type target. It was 1995.
Wow, that was, I mean, Shakespeare back then, that could have been a Bob, that could have been an X90,
Uh,
that could have been anything. I mean, they made a lot of bows.
yeah, I got it at a JC Penney's. They had a kind of a sort of sporting goods store in the basement.
Oh, yeah, I remember that for sure. So,
Yeah.
traditional archery, so I would imagine that was your start in traditional archery. Did
Right.
you ever shoot a
Yes.
compound?
Yes, I have. I had one. I bought a when they came out and became popular. I kind of like everybody else did. I had the first one I had was a wing compound, and then I shot it a year or so. I traded it for a Bear Polar LTD, and then I got rid of it in 1980, and went for, I don't know, 30 some odd years without a I have one now, but I haven't shot it in, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, or maybe longer than that.
Right.
It's hanging in the closet.
So, There was a boat company back in the day called Rocky Mountain Boat Company. I'm going back way
Hmm.
back, late 70s,
Yeah.
80s, and
Uh-huh.
I've owned a couple of their bows. They're fantastic. They were. I
I
mean,
agree.
I believe they went out of business. Now, are your bows adopted from them, their style, or did you buy the company?
Oh no, I don't. There is no company as far as I know. I think they kind of shut down about maybe the early '90s, late '80s, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And I was like, I always wanted one of those, but I designed one, or it's basically as close to a copy of theirs as you can get.
Mhm.
A man from, I believe it was West Virginia, Virginia, he sent me one of his bows to trace the limbs, and that's kind of how I got started building that particular one. I always wanted one of those back in the day, but never could afford one.
Well, to me, as a collector and as a shooter, I've had a couple of the older models, and
Mm-hmm.
I always found them similar to the Bear Takedown and feel.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I always felt, man, these things feel great, and
Yeah.
I don't have any anymore. A friend of mine does. He's got one. Um, and looking at your bows, the craftsmanship is beautiful, fantastic. Uh,
Thank you.
so, what models do you guys offer?
Well, I have two recurve models. One I call the Thunderbolt. It's kind of a static type recurve. And then
Mhm.
I offer the one I call the RMR, the Rocky Mountain, which is very, very similar, not an exact clone, but it's pretty close to the original Rocky Mountain. And then I have a takedown longbow, Corsair, and a Warhawk, which is my youth kid longbow. It's 46 inches long and about an inch wide and 15 pounds or so at 20 inches. Those are kind of what I offer currently.
So, obviously, the RMR, the Rocky Mountain recurve model. What are the backstories behind the other bow models? How did you come up with
Oh,
them?
I don't know. Oh, just I thought it would be neat to have a one the Corsair and the Thunderbolt use the same riser, and I always thought it'd be cool to have a bow that I could have longbow limbs or recurve limbs on,
Okay.
and I that's kind of how it evolved into that, and yeah, that's
Now,
that's
I've
kind of the
seen
story. I mean,
Well, I've
go
seen
ahead.
you've made over the years. I've been following you for a long time, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you again. You've made some epic
Thank
builds
you.
over the years. What has been your most challenging build?
Oh, I don't know. I guess
Everyone?
some that I yeah, sometimes that's true. Yeah. Uh, for a while we had just horrible clear glass,
Hmm.
and oh, it was terrible.
It had streaks
I
in it. I remember it.
oh yeah, I had some bows that I actually sanded and painted them and to cover up the clear glass. But I made some goofy mistakes in my time. I cut the sight window on the wrong side of a longbow I was building many years ago, and I immediately realized it after I did it. So I glued it back in and turned it end for end and cut the shelf in. And of course, that was covered up with a leather grip. Shot it for years, worked just fine. Then I had some of the, I guess it was been, I don't know how many years ago now, Smooth On had some bad glue. And I had 5 or 6 bows that just kind of came apart the first when you go to string them. They didn't like explode, they just folded up, I guess you'd
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I had experience with some of that because, as you know, I repair bows and stuff like that. So I use
Oh,
Smooth On quite a bit. And I'm going to go back about 10, 15 years ago. I had a batch of Smooth On that gave me a fit.
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
It was in
wow.
that time.
I said, dude, you guys got to fix this problem because it's the only bow glue that's out there. And I'm not going to use CB Geigy because they don't even make that anymore.
Right.
And it was
When I started,
crazy.
I used to get a glue from Bingham's. It was called Epon Versamid.
Okay. I
They
remember.
didn't. They didn't. They didn't have Smooth On at that time. I used to get. I didn't realize it was Smooth On, but I'd order it from Fedora, Mike Fedora. He
Mhm.
called it Super Clear Bow making epoxy or something like that. But I'm sure it was Smooth On, repackaged. But
I
yeah,
had Mike on the podcast a couple of
yes,
months
I,
ago.
I, I've listened to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
an interesting guy, man. Let me tell you.
yes, he
He's
is.
he's still kicking it. He's still kicking butt.
Uh-huh.
And he's
Yeah,
like the fire is still there at an older age,
right.
which I think is
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I used to order a lot of core woods and things like that from him back in the day.
oh, he had some beautiful wood back in the day. Remember?
Mhm.
Back in the 80s? Oh
Right.
my God. He had some of the best rosewood you can get your hands on.
Yeah, and back then, like Bingham's, they didn't have any kind of uh, veneers, or they just had maple and ashes,
Right.
and
Yeah,
that's all they had.
for
And
sure.
so if you wanted red elm or walnut or anything, you went to Mike, and that's where we would get it.
Yep.
And also the old master crafter, and
Oh
go
yeah.
through him some.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, with modern technology, 90% of these guys are gone.
Yeah, they are.
It's
That's a
hard to
shame.
find quality stuff anymore. I've got a
Mhm.
guy that on social media, Ari something, Ari Tanto. I think he's in Asia somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Constantly wanting me to buy burl material, and I had to tell him, look, I'm not a bow builder. I do repairs and refinishes. That's it. So I have no use for burl.
Right.
But some of the stuff he has, oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, I saw.
Just
It might be the same guy I saw him on Facebook. Beautiful
yeah,
stuff.
and it's
Yeah,
all stable.
I
It's
buy a
all
lot.
stabilized.
Right. I buy quite a bit of stuff from the Rosewood shop now. They've
Yeah.
been really good. Yeah,
Oh,
no complaints at all.
Mike Pyatt over
Right.
there. He's running a great
Yeah.
show. I love that place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he and I have known each other a long time, probably almost 30 years. And he's got
Oh, really?
quality
That's
stuff. Yep.
right.
So for you bowyers out there, check it out, the Rosewood Shop. A free advertisement here.
There you
Uh,
go.
so do you have any new bows or new bow models that you're thinking about?
Well, I'm kind of working on one right now. I don't know. Uh, I've built about that's three or four of them, I guess, right now. With carbon and great big recurves. I guess I don't know if they have enough recurve that you would call them a super curve or not, but uh, that's what everybody's referring to them. The people that have shot them are calling them super curves. And
Sure.
then I've had quite a few people have inquired about me making a one piece recurve again. So that might be coming up here in the future.
Yeah, the super curve, I don't know what the deal is behind that. I mean, I've shot some of the borders and I had super
Mm.
curved limbs. Border made some Bear Archery replica limbs in a super curve format, which was
Uh-huh.
a foam core with um, graphite, if you will.
Yeah.
And I shot them, and let me tell you what, they're fast as hell, but they are noisy. They're like it's
Yeah.
almost like a shotgun just went off. And
I
I
didn't put
can't
it
do that. I can't use that when I'm hunting.
right. Mine don't have aren't as, I guess, radical, if that's the right word. I haven't drug out my chronograph to see if they shoot any faster than the other ones, but they're smoother.
Ah,
They build very little weight towards the end of the draw, which is nice. But they have more early weight draw, so they might shoot a little quicker than my other models. I don't know.
mhm. Yeah, super curves, hit or miss, and it's up to the person shooting them.
Uh,
I'm all about quietness because I'm a pure hunter. I don't shoot
right.
target. I don't shoot 3D professionally. Some guys get a little manic about that, but that's whatever. Uh, so if a person had an RMR, an original, would you be able to build limbs for it or no?
Yes, I can build them. I've never built any for the 13-inch riser, so I don't know if I could for that one, but for the others I can.
Mhm.
And that came about when I started making my version of the RMR. People kept asking me if I could build limbs for their riser, and I told them no, my jig is not the same. There was a young man from Wyoming called me and asked me that, and I told him no, I can't because my jig won't work. And he had his father's bow, and it had a broken limb, if I remember. Anyway, he was a machinist in one of the mines at night, and he said, "If I build you a jig, would you do it?" And I said, "Well, sure." So
Yeah.
he built me a jig and sent it to me, and that's kind of how I got started. And
That's awesome. Because
yeah,
I got an buddy of mine lives in Maryland. He's got an original Rocky Mountain. I don't know what the length of the riser is. I'm thinking the bow is 60 inches. So I don't know if that would be a longer riser or a shorter riser, but this is information that he would find helpful at the very least. So
yeah, it should probably a 17-inch riser if it's a 60-inch one.
okay. So let's talk about finishes. What are you using?
Well, I tried about everything through the years. I used to go the True Oil and the polyurethane and all of that.
Mhm.
I shot some of Mike's, I think he called it Z30 extra hard bow finish or something back in the day. Mike Fedora, that is.
Okay.
Then I tried Crystal for a while. I have a real small shop and I don't build tons and tons of bows, so I don't really spray much anymore. I use epoxy and thin it with acetone. I think it's called a Massey finish, and I wipe that on and then spray, it was polyurethane or whatever over the top for UV protection, and it seems real durable and it works well for me.
Mhm.
I used to set up an area in my shop and spray, and then it was just kind of a hassle. No more bows than I build. If
Mhm.
you built bows every day, I would definitely have a spray booth and probably use Thunderbird or one of those. But
So
I'm not.
is the bow company your full-time gig or do you use something else?
Oh no, I'm retired. I do just yeah. I'm grandpa mostly. I've been retired since 2014.
Oh, God bless you. Yeah, God bless
Yeah.
you. I wanted to retire and they gave me a raise. So what do you do with that, right? Okay. One more year.
uh,
Uno más, as
well,
they say
yeah,
in
uno
Spanish.
más. Yeah. Yeah.
So uh any nightmare builds, wood wise or
Mm, oh gosh, let me think. I've had a couple of risers years ago. They would. I didn't know what I was doing all that well much back then. I just built a bow, and uh, sometimes the risers would crack where the grain ran out. Now I put fiberglass over the back of all my risers, at least a couple of 3 layers. Mike Fedora again told me to do that years ago. So if you'll add 2 or 3 layers of fiberglass, it's like adding an extra inch of wood or so. So makes it
sure.
much stronger. And I
That makes
believe that,
sense.
and I do that on all my bows currently anyway. Yeah.
So of the woods, what's your favorite and what's your least favorite?
Oh, probably my favorite. I would think Bolivian rosewood or Poffer or Morado or whatever you want to call it. I really like that in the darker types. I like Osage a lot. Shedua, I like that. Probably my least favorite is Wingay or Wing or however you call it. It's a
Yeah,
pain to get.
wingy, I can't
Well,
stand it. Oh my God.
it's a pretty wood, but it's tough to get finished
It'll
where it
tear
looks
up your
halfway
bandsaw,
decent.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Yeah, it's some hard stuff. The other day, somebody sent me on social media. It was an image, if you will, and it laid down the hardness of the woods.
Uh-huh.
And Osage was the hardest of them all. And then it went down,
Okay.
and
Right.
okay, well, yeah, I know about Osage. So when I use Osage, yeah, I have a special blade I use for Osage. Everything else gets the other thing.
Uh-huh.
But Osage will tear up a bandsaw. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. It's hard.
But it's beautiful, especially if you find
It
one that
is.
has really nice reddish streaks in it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely beautiful.
And as it changes color due to the sunlight, it gets prettier with age. And,
Yeah.
and I really like Purple Heart a lot too. I like a lot.
Yeah.
I like
Purple
Purple
Heart's
Heart. It's
cool.
it's
Yep.
hard.
I just
I like
refinished a
it a lot.
bow this weekend that had some Purple Heart in it. that it was faded over time. But when you start sanding on it
Oh
and
yeah,
getting all the dead cells
right.
off, oh man, that
Yeah,
thing really popped. It's beautiful.
yeah, it is. Yeah, the original Rocky Mountains used a lot of Purple Heart as an
Yes, they
accent in their
did.
riser.
I remember Purple Heart and my buddy's bow, his riser. I think it's Purple Heart and Osage. So with
Right.
that contrast, it really
Yeah.
looks nice.
Nice. Yeah. Yes,
So
sir. That's cool.
for an aspiring young bowyer, what advice would you give them and why?
I would say just do it. We have a lot of information now that's really beneficial, YouTube and stuff. When I started, we didn't have any of that kind of stuff. I started with a book written by Tom Jennings, of all
Yeah,
people.
I have it.
I got it out of, yeah, I got it from Kittredge Bowhut.
Yep.
It had a little ad in there that said if you're handy enough to sign your own name, you can build a bow. And it wasn't quite that easy, but
No.
yeah. But there's just wealth, tons of information, and it's very rewarding. Uh,
Now Kittredge Boat Hut. I don't Doug Kittredge. I don't know if
yeah,
he's still alive. I heard he was,
I don't.
but he's
Yeah, I
well
don't
into
know.
his 90s.
It would have to be, yes.
I have to seek him out, and I know people I can get into. So imagine me
Uh,
interviewing him. Oh wow,
there you go. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be neat.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, he's yeah.
So let's change gears. Let's talk bow hunting.
All right.
I know you're a busy man. I've seen some of your photos. With you, when do you have time to chase game? Well, you're retired. You should be able to chase them anytime.
Well, yeah. In New Mexico, and like most Western states, it's kind of tough to get tags. Is the problem?
Wow, even as a
You know, you.
resident.
Oh yeah, you have to apply for
Wow.
deer. You have to apply for everything,
Oh my God.
even with a bow. And your odds, like for elk, are in a unit that you 30-40% chance of drawing, typically somewhere in that range. So it's kind of tough to excuse me, come up with a tag usually. I really like to hunt antelope, uh,
Hmm. I see
pronghorn.
that. I
That's
see that in the
I really
background.
I
Yep.
really I enjoy them a lot, and I like to hunt elk. I've got too old to walk and call and chase them all over the hills, but I
Mhm.
still try. That they're my, I don't know, antelope. I get they're beautiful, and they're good to eat, and they're probably my favorite animal to
So
hunt.
I'm looking at a DIY hunt in the future for antelope. What would you recommend?
Well, the most effective way to kill them is at a water hole
Of
in a pop
course.
up blind, and they're a strange animal. You can set it up, and one group will be scared to death of the blind, and the next group will come up and could care less. Once Buddy and I were hunting, and a buck came up to the water, but he would never commit. Real nervous, ran off out there and laid down, I don't know, 100 yards away or whatever for an hour or two, and then got up and walked right in like he had no worries in the world. And my buddy shot him. So
Hmm.
they're a weird animal.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite setup, bow and arrow?
Bow and arrow. I'm a recurve guy. I I've tried and tried and tried to really like the longbow. I think they're the perfect weapon to hunt with, but I'm just a recurve guy, I guess, because I started with that. Through the years, my weight's gone down. I used to shoot well over 60 pounds, but
Mm,
it's down.
yeah.
I'm trying to hang 50 or above right now. And I shoot carbon arrows now with Ace or Zwicky heads. Kind of thinking about transitioning back to aluminum arrows. Um, I don't like making arrows for whatever reason. I absolutely hate making arrows. So I never got into the wood thing.
Okay.
I buy arrows and fletch them, but that's about it. But
I'm on the same page, man. Actually, I was thumbing through traditional bowhunter last night, and Ace is for sale. Ace
yeah,
Broadhead Company.
heard
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
Um, last thing I
Hopefully
needed.
someone.
That's another thing I don't need to get into. My wife is telling me stop, stop. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not going to buy it. So, I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
somebody, whoever buys it, I hope they're successful. I really do.
yeah.
It's a
I
great
agree.
broadhead.
Yes, it is. And Zwicky's are really good heads too.
Yeah,
I've had great luck.
I've been hunting with Wikis for 50 years and
And you
never,
know what?
they're kind of, a lot of guys don't understand how to sharpen them. I said, sharpen them with a mill bastard file and then go to your
Right.
sticks and then use a leather strop and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah. And another one I like is I mean, Jack Howard had he was a big proponent of the three blade with the glued on razor blades.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that. Those work really well. Um, they're they're a great head. And you would think gluing razor blades on with contact cement wouldn't be very durable, but they are. They
It blew
stay on
through
there like,
animals. Yep.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And,
they're
what's
definitely,
ironic is I'm a huge Jack Howard
yeah. I
aficionado.
knew you were. Yeah,
And I really loved speaking with him until his untimely passing. And
right.
his widow had up 12 bows that were left in the shop, and I finished them for her. Sold them on
Wow.
eBay, gave her the proceeds. All I needed was my eBay fees. That was it. But she sent me the most heartwarming letter, handwritten
That's nice.
with
Uh,
the most exquisite cursive, which nobody even knows what cursive is anymore. And I saved that. I have it framed. It's in my shop here. And
Good
that
for
was
you.
that was awesome. It's like we you mentioned earlier on, you're very into God and Jesus and all that. That was a blessing for me.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Absolutely. But yeah,
Jack
that's
Howard was a neat man. I loved his articles in Bowhunter magazine. We'd go out west and hunt. You know,
well, a lot of people
I,
don't know how he passed. He was on his roof fixing the shingles. He fell off the roof and broke his neck.
oh my
I mean,
gosh.
what a way to go. I mean, my
Yeah.
Lord. And that's that. So you never know when your number is up, or and
No, we don't.
God can only determine that.
That's true. I believe that. Yeah.
So of your methods to hunt, what's your favorite?
Well, I used to be all into, kind of still hunting, spot and stalk now, but as I've got older, I think got wiser. I don't know, but and the hills have got a little steeper and the legs are a little weaker. So I mainly hunt out of pop-up blinds. I
Mhm.
used to use tree stand some, but oh, my daughter-in-laws, they're both nurses, so they don't really care for me to be on ladders
Oh,
much
they're all
anymore.
over you, I'm sure.
So mostly pop-up blinds. I like to hunt at water holes or just you know on trails and things like that. I've come to think that your your success chances of success are much greater if the animal comes to you rather than you going to him.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's tough to sneak up on them. Not impossible, but it's hard.
So I got a question. You're in New Mexico, correct?
Right. Correct.
Okay. Are you familiar with a guy named Stan Potts?
Stand pots. No, I don't believe
He's
I
an
do.
old traditional archer. He's probably in his 90s now, if he's still alive. I used to
The
correspond
name
with him.
sounds.
Yeah, I used to
Mhm.
buy. He had some vintage bows he sold me back in the 80s, but then we lost touch. I don't even know if he's still alive. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
No, I don't. Sorry, I don't
Yeah,
know him.
I'm gonna have to research that because that he's been around for 100 years. Uh, he's a retired major from the Air Force, obviously
Are
New
you think?
Mexico.
Are you thinking of Stan Roush?
That's it. That's it. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Stan Potts. No, we don't want to talk about Stan Potts. Stan Roush. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's alive and still lives he's in South Dakota now.
Okay.
My my good buddy and him are big hunting buddies. They're getting ready to go turkey hunting in South Dakota here this month.
I got to get him
He's
on him. He's been around for 100 years. I got to get him on.
when he was in New Mexico, he had the New Mexico bow hunters
Yeah,
going great, and it's all folded up now when he left. But
that was in
yeah,
Albuquerque,
man,
Albuquerque, wasn't it?
yes, right.
I
We
was
had
a
some
supporting
nice.
member. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good for you. Yeah.
But okay, cool. I'm glad we figured that one out.
Yeah.
So, are you strictly a bow hunter or are you a two-season hunter?
No, here we are only allowed to hunt. You have to pick a weapon
Okay.
in New Mexico. And I have firearms and used to hunt with firearms, but I haven't in years. I used to quail hunt and dove hunt and things like that, some with my
Mhm.
shotguns, but I haven't done much of that in the last 10 years or so either. So
Okay.
yeah, pretty much just both.
Do you attend any shoots as a vendor?
No, I haven't done that at all. No.
Okay. Yeah, that can be a little stressful.
I
I
would
took,
think, yeah.
yeah, I talked to several guys, and they're like, "Wow, you're there for 4 days, and like first 2 days you're engaged, and then by the third day you're like a zombie."
Yeah, worn out. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Because people come up and they're tire kickers and all that, and nobody's really engaged in a serious conversation. I'm like, yeah, that could be tough. I've done it. It's tough. That's all I could say.
It's work.
Yeah, it is hard work mentally, and physically because you're sitting in a folding chair from Kmart for 4 days. You know,
Yeah,
that'll give you some muscle cramps.
there you go.
So
Yeah.
let me ask a question. Your opinion: traditional archery. Do you see it growing, stalling, or in decline?
Mm, I I would say it's stable or slightly growing, and I
Mhm.
think that will continue for a while. I don't know for how long. I have quite a few people. I have people contact me that shoot compounds but want to give it a try.
Mhm.
And I mean, back in the day, many people I think got into bow hunting because they wanted an additional challenge. People got a compound. They think, if they go traditional, it'll be an additional challenge. And I think that's kind of where it will always be the case as long as we have plenty of people shooting. There'll always be people involved in traditional archery, I think.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of kids and wives involved recently,
Right. Uh-huh.
which I think is great.
That's,
I mean, it's like, wow,
yes,
this
I
is
agree.
great. Now they're shooting as a family. Never saw that
Mhm.
10 years ago. Just usually
Yeah,
individuals. Now I'm seeing
good.
like clusters of families shooting as a family, which I think is fantastic. And I
Right.
encourage that.
Definitely. Yeah.
So where do you see Sierra Blanca in say 5 years? What
Well,
what's in store for you guys? You got to have some plans.
oh, oh, not really. I mean, I'm 75, so I'd be 80. So I don't know how long I would
You look
stay
great.
at this. I was going to say I should apologize to your viewers. I have a face for radio and probably a voice for silent movies or something, but
No, dude, it's all
I don't
good.
know.
I had a conversation. I walked my dog today, and I ran into this woman, and she could talk your ear off. I said, "Look, I'm on a half hour break here, walking the dog. I got to get back to work." She would not shut up, and she was like, "Blah blah 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 blah," and I was like, "Wow." And she goes, "You're still working?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 66." She goes, "Oh, I'm retired. I'm 65." I'm like, "Well, God bless you. You know, I got to get back to work, you know." And she wouldn't stop talking. So luckily, my neighbor came out and boom, her attention went right to him. And as soon as they started talking, I took off. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get my mail." I lucked out.
Yeah,
But
I guess as long as I enjoy doing it and I can, and luckily most people now are requesting lower draw weights than they used to.
yeah, they are.
I built a few over 60, 65 pounds recently, and they're pretty tough for me to shoot anymore.
Mhm.
Just to, when you're testing them out and everything. So most of them are in the 40 pound, 45 pound, 50 pound range somewhere in there. So,
Yeah, me myself,
well,
I hunt with 48, but when I shoot 3D, it's got to be 38.
oh yeah,
Because you're shooting 20 plus targets a day, and that wears you
right.
out. So, do you have stock bows?
Occasionally, I don't ever seem to have very much, but I try to, but
Mhm.
I don't. As a rule, not, I would say no. I just don't
Oh,
have time to do it. I don't have a lot of time to work on bows. Like I said earlier, I'm primarily grandpa and
Right.
go to grandkids activities and pick them up from school and things of that nature. So it takes up some of my time, but
So if
I'm busy
somebody,
as I want to be.
that's good. That's a good thing. So as
Yeah.
things go, if somebody work custom order a bow, what's your typical turnaround time?
Oh, usually it's about 6 months. And
Okay.
and if it gets longer than that, then I start a waiting list. I don't want deposits for any longer than that. I this you know if they're like me, I one day I'm just got to have something, and a month later my mind's changed, and if you've already got the deposit in, you're kind of sunk or stuck or whatever. So yeah, if it's going to be longer than 6 months, I just put their name down and contact them when the weight goes down a little bit.
Gotcha.
And,
Gotcha.
and that's worked well. That's worked well for me.
Good. Excellent. So how can people get a hold of you?
Well, I currently have a website, and I don't know if I will continue to keep it up. It gets very little notice from there, way more from Facebook and stuff. But just phone or email, either one, it works great. Just
So what is
my
the
phone number is
email
five.
and what is the phone number? Yeah. I was going to tell you.
The phone
Ask you.
number is 505-382-5858, and the email is just jess.stewart@hotmail.com. And I have a Gmail one too. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. So either one of those or any of those, or yeah.
Yeah, I would stick with
Not,
the Gmail because that's where I've been able to get a hold
yeah,
of you.
right.
Okay.
And I enjoy
So
the call. I enjoy talking with people on the phone, actually.
exactly,
But
for sure.
but
So what's in store for you for the rest of 26 and going into 27? Anything riveting?
well, I have a elk tag. My son and I have an elk tag this year, so we get to go elk hunting. We also have a deer tag, but it's in a different unit at approximately basically the same time, early September, and they're 150, 200 miles apart. So I don't know. We'll definitely do the elk thing.
Hmm?
Uh, we were thinking about going to Alberta to go moose hunting, but
Mm,
that's a buddy and I, and that he had some health issues, so that kind of got put on hold.
sure.
So just doing that and just kind of continue doing what I'm doing, building a few bows and you know getting on with life.
I hear you. Well, Jess, I want to thank you so much for coming on with us tonight for the
Thank
Drop
you
Time
for having me.
Traditions podcast. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
An honor
Folks,
to be here.
please like, subscribe, and share. And do me a favor, people, love each other, respect each other, and
Yeah.
pass the good word. And if you see something, say something. Really, we don't have enough love in this world, in my opinion. Which
That's
doesn't
true.
mean squat, but it is what it is. It's just an observation. But Jess, thank you so much, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Rich.
All right, I'm going to end this. Later.
All right. Later.
See you next time.